Mount Kilimanjaro stands at 5,895 meters, the highest mountain in Africa and the highest freestanding mountain in the world. And for some reason, we decided to climb it. Seeing it from the plane gave me the real sense of scale of this mountain, higher than the plane itself. The next morning we woke up with a clear view of Mwenzi and Kivu, as you can see here. It felt like it was watching us. Next, it was time to meet the team and start our journey. The hikers were Craig, Chris, Caroline, Micheline and Lala, David, Davi and Temba. "22 porters and 6 guides. They were the most important people as they carried everything: food, tents, cooking equipment, and even a portable toilet. We carried day packs, nothing compared to what they carried. And here's Desmond, the owner of Marangu Hotel. He gave us amazing advice on which route to pick. And here's our lead guide, Joffrey, who's climbed Kilimanjaro more than 600 times. And he was definitely the best guide in the business. Hey. We chose to climb Kilimanjaro via the 7-day Rongai Route. It's the only route that approaches the mountain from the north, and it's also the quietest. Because of its position on the mountain, it gets less rainfall than the other routes. It also passes by Mwenzi Peak, the more dramatic of Kilimanjaro's 2 summits. The route takes you through 4 distinct vegetation zones. All that was left was to begin. Here's our boots before they got dirty, and Mom saying a little prayer. And we were off. Day 1 was a gentle introduction to the mountain. From the gate we hiked to Simba Camp, gaining just under 700 meters in elevation, over 3.5 hours. We arrived at Simba Camp with everything already being set up. Our tents, the dining tent, and even the portable toilet was waiting for us. The camp was small and peaceful, with a beautiful view of Kivu in the distance. Day 1 done, 6 more days to go. Day 2 started with breakfast and warm smiles from Joseph, our cook, and Leonard, our waiter. Both of them played a huge role in keeping our energy up throughout the climb. Today we hiked from Simba Camp to Second Cave. As we climbed higher, the change in vegetation became noticeable. We left the dense forest behind and slowly entered the open moorland. David was never far behind, always with his solar panel out, making sure our phone stayed charged so we could keep capturing these moments. Along the way, we passed clear mountain streams. As tempting as they looked, we were reminded not to drink or wash in them, as the water is used for cultivation by thousands of people living below the mountain. The hike was fairly long, but it kept an easy, steady pace. We eventually reached Second Cave. This camp sat at 3,450 meters, and it quickly became our least favorite camp. You can see here it sits in a bog. There's lots of wet ground, so not the most pleasant, but the views of Kivu towering above us were still incredible. Here are some beautiful shots of the mountain as it cleared in the evening. And it turned out to be a great place to play Asblik and pass the time together. Dinner was a warm combination of soup and stew, exactly what we needed as the temperature dropped. I slept terribly that night. Looking back, it was probably the first signs that the altitude was starting to affect me. Day 3 started as every day did, with a cup of coffee in bed, brought to us by Leonard, always bringing a smile to our faces as we slowly got ready for the day.
The young people are strong enough.
No problem.
You think the older people are strong enough?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes. Because today is day 3.
Okay.
No anyone feel bad.
Day 3 was a lighter day. We traversed across the mountain and only gained a small amount of elevation. Mwenzi stayed in view for most of the day, looking more and more majestic as we slowly moved closer to it. Camp 3, Kikilewa, sat tucked in among the rock at around 3,600 meters. We were all much happier here. No bog this time, just solid ground and real sense of being higher up the mountain. In the afternoon, we set off for a short acclimatization hike, but it didn't last long, as you can see here.
Okay, the rain came down when we were trying to do some altitude training.
Yeah, we got 50 meters of elevation before we had to turn back.
50 meters, you mean? And so we are trying to dry some things here, while the others are soddingly trying to recuperate themselves, recuperate in their tents, while it's pissing out there.
Like walking in mist.
I'm glad we turned back.
I'm glad we turned back.
Christmas Eve brought songs and a noticeable need for some singing lessons. Woke up on Christmas morning to this magnificent view of the clouds and the sunrise. Turning around, you can see a beautiful snow-capped view of Kibu and Mwenzi as the heavy rain the night before was snowing up high. If our summit day had been a couple days earlier, I'm not sure we would have made it in the bad weather. Here are the buckets of water we could use to clean ourselves. My dad cleaning up to make himself look good for Christmas Day, and you can see here it was pretty cold. After washing up and packing our bags, we set off towards Mwenzi town. This was one of the days with more significant elevation gain, and the pace slowed noticeably. Pole pole, slowly, that became the focus. Conserving energy was essential if we wanted to have anything left for summit day. The walk up to Mwenzi town was beautiful. As we climbed higher, Mwenzi Peak towered above us, dwarfing everything around. Standing at over 5,100 meters, it is hardly climbed anymore as it's very dangerous with loose rock. Our porters and guides were the heroes, so we sang to them.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy.
Our guides kept our pace consistent and slow as we approached Mwenzi town. Finally, we arrived. Sitting at 4,315 meters, the elevation was now very apparent. Doing anything too quickly left me feeling lightheaded, so even putting on clothes or going to the bathroom had to be done very intentionally. It was a dramatic campsite, and we were all alone for Christmas Day. Late in the day, we headed out on an acclimatization hike up to the ridgeline. From there, we could see the vast saddle stretching between Mwenzi and Kibu. This would be our route the following day.
Where's Kibo?
Kibo Hut.
Oh.
You will see the green roof there.
No, I'm colorblind. I don't see a green roof, no.
Green roof. Look at the trail. When trail is look like it finish, have some green roof.
Is that so?
the nook over there.
And left of there, you see yellow thing is camping. Have a yellow tent.
Looking back at the campsite, no one was brave enough to swim in the glacial lake. That evening, we celebrated Christmas on the mountain, all 36 of us together, playing a few light games and enjoying a quiet moment under the watchful presence of Mwenzi.
Just give it all to the chief. Okay. You can give it to everybody. Chief, I'll give it to you. It's very small. It's just what we had with us because we didn't plan well enough. But they're little bits of chocolate for everyone. And then we'll celebrate properly when we're down the mountain. Yes. I'm sorry we don't have more.
Don't say that. For us, you won't say that. Thank you, because the something what you think is small is not small. It's big. Because why? Your heart tell you to do that. Everything what you do from your heart really is big. Thank you, and many thanks, and welcome.
And Merry Christmas.
Day 5 brought perfect weather again as we made our way across the saddle towards Kibu Hut. We were walking from 4,300 meters to 4,700 meters. By now, all the vegetation had disappeared. We were fully in the alpine desert zone, dry, vast, and exposed. Kibu Hut was visible for most of the walk, but the distance was far more deceptive than it looked. It never seemed to get any closer. Once again, our guides helped us keep a slow, steady pace. Pole pole. No one in the group was struggling yet with altitude sickness, but breaks were needed. We arrived at Kibu Hut in the afternoon, with Kibu towering above us like a giant wall of ice and rock, impossible to ignore. We had an early dinner as the sun set, knowing that summit day would begin at 12 a.m. that same night. There wasn't much time to rest, but we were as ready as we could be for the hardest day ahead. Summit day began at 12 a.m. in the morning. It was pitch black outside and freezing. Here you can see Kibu Hut, and our journey was up this steep slope all the way to Uhuru Peak. There's no footage from those first few hours, and everything narrowed down to just breathing and putting one foot in front of the other. It was the steepest climb of the entire trip, and with every step the oxygen became thinner. At around 4,900 meters, my mom was hit hard by altitude sickness. She made the wise decision to turn back, knowing that descending is always the best way to recover. The rest of us kept moving. The guides held the pace with very few breaks on the steep climb. It grew colder and windier with every step, and breathing became harder and harder. After what felt like a lifetime, we reached Gilman's Point at around 5,680 meters, right on the edge of the crater. This was my favorite part of the entire hike. As we followed the rim of the crater, the sun began to rise. The sunrise was stunning, as you can see here, and the sunlight was very welcomed as the temperature was as low as -15. The views continued to blow our minds. Here you can see the shadow of Kili at sunrise. This kept me motivated. Only about 100 meters to go. Every step felt like the hardest step so far. My body was completely drained.
Yes, bro. Yes, bro. You're doing it, bro. Yeah.
We were very close now. We were basically there. We had made it.
I'm sitting on the top of Kilimanjaro. Oh yeah, I can see a new tomorrow. Oh, hurry up. I'm sitting on the top of Kilimanjaro. Oh yeah, I cast away all my sorrow. Oh, hurry up. I'm sitting on the top of Kilimanjaro. Oh yeah, it thrills me right down.
The wind, the cold, the altitude was insane, so we didn't spend long and turned back quickly. On the descent, we were exhausted, frozen, and battered. But with every step lower, it felt like life was slowly being given back to us. Breathing became easier, warmth returned. We had done it. We descended all the way to Uhuru Hut in the same day, spent 16 hours on our feet. Eventually we got there and we found our mom. She was okay and recovered from the altitude sickness, which was great news.
Astonishing at the top.
In what way?
Beautiful and different from what I expected. But we were there shooting it. We had to contend with our complete exhaustion. The weather at the top was blazingly cold.
That night was the best sleep of the whole hike, maybe of my whole life. Day 7 was all downhill. We descended through 3 vegetation zones in a single day, heading back towards the gate. The jungle came alive around us, tall trees, thick greenery, and monkeys moving through the branches overhead. We were filthy, exhausted, and dreaming of hot showers. Reaching Morangu Gate felt surreal. Just hours earlier we had been high above the clouds. Now we were safely off the mountain. We celebrated the only way that felt right. A couple of beers, big smiles, and plenty of reminiscing. A trip of a lifetime.
Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata.